Hello and welcome to another Doctor's Assistant 1 video. Today I'm doing a review of another Doctor Who The Lost in Dimensions, or Dimension, The Lost Dimension even, comic book. Now, before I fully get into this review and that, I just wanted to go over some Doctor Who comic book related stuff, sort of things, updates even, if you will. What was I going to say? If you've been wondering if you are a fan of the Doctor Who comic book reviews and or content on this channel, if you've been wondering why I haven't uploaded anything in a substantial amount of time, i.e. 2 months I think was the last, when I uploaded the last one, that's predominantly because I haven't bought a Doctor Who comic book since then, and that's why. I can't obviously review new comics if I don't buy them, and that's, so that's why. Secondly, the other two things I was going to say is that the only other things that I can think of besides just reviewing new ones that I acquire is that I could always do a collection update video, maybe, potentially, on them, and that, if that's something that interests you, please do comment below that in the comment section, as well as whether or not you would like overviews of some of the series, i.e., the 4th Doctor ones, the 3rd, the 8th Doctor ones, which I really enjoyed, as did I really enjoy the 3rd Doctor ones, actually, surprisingly enough. But anyway, that's by the by. If I reread all 5, say, issues of the 3rd Doctor one, and then do an overview, ranking which one I liked the most, what I thought of the overall story, so on, what was the weakest point, what was the best point, some of the artwork, some of the story points and highs and lows, and some of the cool spectacles, i.e. the drawing, as I say, and whatnot, what I liked about that. And then also, the only other thing I can think of reviewing in terms of the Doctor Who comic book-esque things is the 9th Doctor Panini Comics Cruel Sea graphic novel that I have, which is the only Panini Comics graphic novel that I have in my Doctor Who collection. Well, that's a lie, actually. I've repeated over someone, but it's all black and white, and I'd rather get the ones that are in colour personally, because black and white artwork just doesn't work for me. And so that's a compilation of all the Doctor Who magazine comic strips that the 9th Doctor had, all compiled into one graphic novel, so I could always try and read that and then review that, but it's just finding the time to do that, because currently I'm reading the Tom Baker autobiography, which is Mr. Tom Baker's autobiography, which is over there, so, got that to read, really, more than anything. Now onto this, it's the second Lost in Dimension comic book that I've got, and that, it's got River Song there, it's got Jenny there, it's got the 4th Doctor there, which, spoiler alert, this is a big spoiler, so if you don't want to, hear the spoiler, please do pause the video here, and also if you're not a big fan of profanity and or swearing, I do like to think that my YouTube channel is a family-friendly channel, ideally. I would hope young viewers could watch this YouTube channel and or most of the videos I do without their parents getting annoyed. But, yeah, this really pissed me off, though. I don't give a shit what anyone says. The 4th Doctor isn't even in this. What the fuck? He is on the front cover, but isn't even in this story. What the actual fuck? Like, that is the biggest sense, or biggest false advertising in a fucking Doctor Who related piece of merchandise I have ever seen so far in my, umpteen years of collecting Doctor Who merchandise. I've been collecting Doctor Who merchandise since I was like 7 or 8, since I watched the show, 13 years ago, and that originally watched it 13 years ago, and this has to be the biggest rip-off, well, not biggest rip-off, but biggest slap to the face in terms of false advertising. I went into buying this comic book expecting the 4th Doctor to be in it. Is he in it? No, but he's on the front cover. How ironic, though. How devious, It's no different from when they have the, the 8th, 5th, 6th and 7th Doctor in the Diary of a River Song box sets, but at least when they're on the front cover, you know that they're actually going to appear in those stories at some point. In this, they do a very similar thing, but then do what they might refer to as the old bait and switch. Bloody hell, that's stupid. Jenny looks phenomenal there, you know, in the on the front cover. Riversong looks kind of weird. Doesn't look like Alex Kingston, but that does look like the actress who played Jenny. Yeah, less said about Tom Baker there. The Titan Comics there, Doctor Who logo TARDIS thing there, O2. Special, and then it says 2, but then there it says part 7, which is not confusing at all. So is it issue 2? Is it part 7 of issue 2? I don't freaking know. The numbering thing on this is just ridiculous to me. You know, yeah, it says 7 of 8. So if you've got any feedback, send it to Titan Comics. There, yeah, the Fourth Doctor thing that I just mentioned. Titan Comics website, Twitter, and Facebook. You know, the art for the most part's okay. I think it's odd. I think the Riversong story has better overall artwork, but the story falls flat for me. Whereas, as I say, like the Jenny one, like, just look at this as well. This is just phenomenal. That I adore. You know, there it says Jenny. Also, this whole Jenny thing gives me an idea for a video that I could do, you know, in front of the camera about Jenny, and obviously seeing her in Series 11, and why I think that would be a good idea. Or could we see Jenny come back in Series 11, or a future series even with Jodie Whittaker? And I think that is a big, highly probability, or the probability of that happening is fairly big, to me anyway, but I'll leave that for a future video. But this, wow, this looks absolutely phenomenal. You know, I wish they'd done a poster of this as well inside the comic book, but this is just phenomenal artwork and amazing. I love this. You know, her hair there is more pinkish, which is weird because then you get to this and bloody hell does she look like a crayon monster. Like, it's weird. Like in there's another bit somewhere where her person just looks awful. You know, like, she looks like she's just been drawn in a cartoon. Like, I think it's because she's supposed to be in a dark, sort of icy place, and they tried to draw her face cold looking, unless, like, it's got actual flesh colour in it, and that. But bloody hell, she looks pale as fuck, but also just looks ridiculously weird to me, because the hair is just too brightly, you know, just look like crayon, yellowy, just awful to me. But you know, but the space stuff's awesome. It looks epic. It looks like Star Wars meets Doctor Who, as does this picture. I just adore it. I can't praise it enough. Like the work boots, the innocence on her face, and or just the awesome, you know, sort of awesome nature. It's just weird though, because you have this and then you contrast it with this. I mean, there she's fine, but you know, as she is, you know, there, she kind of looks cute there. She looks more like how she does there. And that. And I think, yeah, Jenny's a really cool, interesting character that I've always loved in the Doctor Who universe. Now, that really does look like Mos Eisley from Star Wars A New Hope. Like, oh no, not Mos Eisley, sorry, Tatooine even. Or the place with the two suns where Luke's from. Yeah, it might be Tatooine. Please do comment below if you're a Star Wars nerd. It's just things like this, though, that look epic and very Star Trek and or Star Warsy. You know, some stuff we don't really see, unfortunately, as much in Doctor Who as I would really like. You know, the nitty-gritty, the you know, realism, the sort of gritty, sort of darker realism that maybe space isn't quite all, you know, brilliant starships and decks and that. I mean, we do get that from time to time when we're on other spaceships other than the TARDIS, but I feel like that's not a lot of the time, really. Or if we are, it's usually big, sort of nice things like the Titanic or that cruise liner with all those killers, you know, genocidal maniac people, you know. Really cool spacesuit there. Really like the idea that she's, you know, a female mechanic, you know, really badass female mechanic, strong female character person. The Seal of Rassilon, epic, cool. Then leaves on a cliffhanger, which is stupidly annoying, if you ask me. And just, yeah, Tom Baker's Doctor's not even in it. Fucking annoying. And then there's some lovely advertisement for merch. a weird thing that I don't really even... I never got what this was. Quite frankly, it just felt tacked on and in the worst possible way possible. Out this month from Mr. Titan Comics, and then some of the other issues, although I'm very confused as to what issue 1 is, because, you know, issue 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and no issue 1, but, you know, whatever. An advertisement for Torchwood, which, if you already remember re-watching and or if you've ever watched any of my Torchwood reviews of the comics, yeah, they're pretty bad, or at least the ones that the ones that I picked up. Yeah, so would I recommend this one? I mean, yeah, if you're a fan of River Song and, you know, Jenny and that, I mean, as I say, I think the one that I just went over in more depth is you know, the one that I actually like. The one with River Song isn't bad, it's just not as good. It just sort of randomly starts all of a sudden. It feels very abrupt beginning and that, and it's got the Silurians, which at this point I do like the Silurians, but I'm just a little bit, you know, it's a bit overdone, especially in the comic books and that. I mean, I'm sure they were in the last, you know, Lost Dimensions, you know. Granted, all these 8 parts and or stories, I presume, are interlinked, so I guess they are integral to the overall story, but if so, then that means that we've got 8 stories with them, potentially, you know. That's a bit OTT, a bit over the top, quite frankly. As is the fact that I'm sure there was another 9th Doctor story with them, or maybe 8th, or, do you know what I mean? Like, we see them fairly regularly, both in the TV show, Big Finish, and in, you know, the comic books. You know, so I'd be fine if for the next, you know, 3-4 series of the actual TV show we didn't see the Silurians, because I think I'm a bit burnt out on the Silurians. I don't dislike them or anything, I need a break from them, you know. And that's what I was trying to get at with that, you know, should the Daleks come back in Series 11 video. I wasn't saying, no, I hate the Daleks, don't bring them back for Series 11. I just need a bit of a break from them, you know. There is such a thing as too much of a good thing, you know, hence the reason why I was always confused about, you know, Tom Baker coming back for to do the Big Finish audios, because even I, as much as I am a fan of Tom Baker's Doctor, think there's too much of a good thing, maybe, you know, and that. But yeah, would I recommend this? I mean, as I say, if you're a fan of Jenny and River Song, then definitely that's a no-brainer, it's a must-have. If you only like Jenny, maybe pick it up. If you only like River Song, maybe pick it up. I don't know, it depends on how much you like these characters, and only you know that. So but yeah, I could see myself, if I'd known going in what I was going to get, I would have easily passed this one up. I mean, unfortunately, for me personally, it feels like a waste of £3.50, how much I spent on it, especially with the fact that there's no Tom Baker, but, you know, whatever. You know, when I anticipated that, the River Song story was quite weak, so all I was left with was one fairly decent story. Bit of a rip-off there, but, you know, that's life, I guess. Thanks for watching, comment, rate, and subscribe.